All right, Hey Chipola Nation, we're here with Dr. David Hilton. He's the Dean of Math and Natural Sciences here at Chipola. How you doing, David?
Thank you for having me.
All right, so we just wanted to catch up our viewers and our potential students on what's going on in the Math and Natural Science Department. There was a little hurricane event here back in October, and I know that the building that most of your classes are in sustained some damage. So kind of tell us what's going on with that.
Of course, every building on campus had damage. They're continuing to work on the roof, getting close to being done. So we've had constant sounds on the roof all summer, but they're getting close. They're finishing the cap along the edges, so that's getting there. Inside the building, we didn't have any major damage. But we have some renovation going on. The bathrooms along the hallway are being completely redone. We had some new equipment ordered for the biology labs, new furniture. And then kind of along with the ACE lab, we've ordered some new models and manipulatives for the Anatomy 1 and Anatomy 2 labs. And so we added a few to what we had, and then duplicates now will be in the ACE lab.
Oh, great.
So the students, what they use in our lab, they'll have access to in the ACE lab. So
All
it
right.
should help them.
Yeah, sounds good. So we're in the middle of summer session 1. Are we getting close to the end of summer session 1?
The 25th of June actually
June?
starts summer 2.
Summer
so
2.
We're winding
Okay.
down.
So I know that we're trying to do everything we can to keep our students engaged and retained because, you know, a lot of people lost homes and jobs and everything as a result of the hurricane. Are we offering more classes in summer 2?
Historically, we've had more classes summer 1, and it has worked fine. And we do have a pretty full slate for summer 1. Summers are always quieter, and so we have several classes going now. But our summer 2 offerings are larger than normal.
Right.
And we're hoping we'll get some of those freshmen that have just graduated from high school. We'll be able to come in, get a head start in a math or a science class. We're offering a few more things than we normally do. And it also helps the overcrowding of the classes in the fall.
Sure.
So we've got an Anatomy 1 course that we don't normally offer summer 2. Chem 2 is in summer 2. We have several things out
That's
there.
great. I liked summer classes because you could take one class and, you know, even though the class periods were longer, you could kind of focus on the one class and get it taken care of.
Yeah, 1 or 2 at most is
Right,
probably best.
Because 6 hours is a full load in the summer
Right.
for a summer term.
And that's 2 courses typically. And the other thing with that, though, you know, with the 2-day schedule we have now, in the summer, you're meeting that class every day.
So 4 days a week.
And there's not a gap, there's not a wait, there's not a different class in between those. And students seem to do very well.
Right.
What you worked on yesterday or learned yesterday, you use that night and move on the next day. And really, success in summer classes, you know, by the numbers, looks better than a regular fall or spring.
Great.
But I think that's part of it is you're only taking 1 or 2. Usually really serious students take summer classes. And you don't have 4 or 5 other classes that compete for your time.
Right. Well, so anyway, summer 2 is a good chance to get a head start. And if you're a recent graduate, you just need to come to admissions, apply, turn in your transcripts, and we can get you into summer 2. And summer 2 classes start
June 25th.
June 25th. Okay. In preparing for fall, I know we've had one teacher who took another job somewhere, and then we had one teacher who retired. So we're looking for what positions are we trying to fill right now?
We have 2 positions to fill. One is a math, full-time math instructor, and in the math department, you're not just teaching a course, and so they teach everything from like the intermediate algebra level up to calculus. And so we're in the process of filling the math position now, and we will, in the very near future, interview for the chemistry position that's also open.
Great.
And those are big ones, you know, and that's we need good folks in there, and I know we will have them.
Right. I wanted to ask you about, particularly about math. Algebra, college algebra on this campus is a, what do we call it? Do we call it a gateway course?
Well,
or
sometimes it's a closed gate
You're
course.
right.
Unfortunately, it is a gateway course. For so many of our freshmen, that's the first math class they take. If they're not a STEM major, they usually are required to take 2 math courses. And the typical pairing is college algebra and statistics. That's just probably the most common. There are several majors, though, that don't require college algebra. So we're trying to revamp or really get a different pathway in place for those students that don't require college
Right.
algebra. So that they can take, for example, liberal arts math and statistics, or there are other combinations. Some of our students that come in and they don't have the qualifying scores to go directly into college algebra have to start now in intermediate algebra. And it has sort of been a difficult hurdle to get over. So we're using a new model that will start in the fall. It's called a co-requisite model. And so they will take the intermediate algebra course 2 days a week. The other 2 days, we were talking about summer, seeing it every day seems to help.
Right.
And so the 2 days in between, they will be in a lab, a 50-minute lab each day. And the idea is to tutor, but also to give them those prerequisite skills in the lab that they will use in the class the following day. It seems to be working in other state colleges. And again, this is for the student that is working towards college algebra.
Right.
And so we're real excited to try it. Stephanie Ward has been working on the curriculum all spring and summer. And the new person that we hire will also be part of that, that team. It
Well, that's
does
great.
take more people because they're teaching 2 courses instead of 1.
Well, on behalf of the communication majors of the world, I just want to say thank you, because trying to convince people like me that X is a number is always a difficult thing. So I know that y'all are interested in student success, and I think that's
And this is not just Chipola. This is a statewide thing. We're seeing that why make a student take a course that they don't need for their chosen major?
Exactly.
And so we're trying to accommodate the students, but also teach them skills they need that they can't use.
Yeah, okay. Let's talk about some of the things coming up in the fall. I know that we have several events each year where we try to get high school students onto our campus to introduce them to math and science and STEM things. And I know that we've done some STEM events in the past. What are some plans we have for this year?
Yeah, we've done, PAEC did them for several years, and when that federal grant ran out, we started doing them. And it's been a great thing for Chipola. Obviously, we get students on our campus. When we started, we wanted students to do real science. In other words, they would be in a lab and really do real science. And it is working until a hurricane comes. We had one planned for the fall last year, and it was not just that we weren't really ready before Thanksgiving, but the high schools weren't ready either.
Right.
They were in the same boat we were. So we did not do one last year. We have the Math Olympiad every spring, so that was the event in the springtime. So we are going to do the STEM event again this year. It will be the Friday before fall break, Thanksgiving week.
Oh, okay.
And we're going to do a Rube Goldberg activity, and they're a little different. Typically, they're given a variety of supplies, things to use. They're given a problem or a task to complete. And so they create the machine or the device that they will use to complete the task, build it, and then see if it works.
In 20 words or less, for the non-Rube Goldberg people, what is that? What's the idea behind that?
The idea is that students create. They aren't following a recipe, if you will. They have to use prior knowledge. And usually they're given a little hint as to what they're doing, what the topic is. And then they're able to then, from that little bit of prior knowledge, put it into practical use. And they really enjoy it.
Uh-huh.
And it's amazing the different directions they will go to solve the same problem.
Right.
And
And
it's-
we have some very, very bright students in our 5-county area.
We do. It's amazing, everything from the Brain Bowl team and how well it does, because Stan doesn't recruit nationally, for Brain Bowl. And when you really think about the fact that they've won 9 state championships in the last few years, and then we have so many bright future students that choose to come here rather than going on to university.
Right.
It really is awesome to teach the students we have. And it's good to see those students like at a STEM event or at the Math Olympiad, and then in a year or two they're here.
Right.
Of course, so many are here now as dual enrolled
They are,
students.
yeah.
And so it's kind of funny because the STEM events we've done in the past, we'll have them in chemistry lab and then they show up on campus for the STEM event.
Right.
So they're kind of old hands at it a
Uh-huh.
little bit, but we like doing it. It's exciting for the staff to do, the faculty to do. It is a lot of work, but it's all done in one day.
Right.
And it's just neat to see them,
Yeah.
do well.
Well, that's great. Let me see if we covered all this. STEM, Rule Goldberg, new courses. Wanted to talk about one of the outcomes of Hurricane Michael. It is estimated that on our 130-acre campus here that we lost 1,000 trees. We had cut down several trees a couple of years before that on campus for landscaping and different things. And then, to lose 1,000 more, the campus doesn't look like the campus that you and I attended classes on
A few years
ago. So tell us kind of your involvement in the, we'll call it the reforestation project.
Yeah. Shortly after we returned, we were only out a week and a half and we were back having classes. And I started a course here called Conservation Biology, which later evolved into environmental science. And Dr. Santine Cuccio teaches that now. And we were just sitting talking, because I think all of us kind of walked around just amazed.
In a daze, yeah.
And I said, it would be neat if we could start a program where people could donate to the college with the purpose of replanting trees, and not 1-foot seedlings,
Right.
but trees that would look like trees when they went in the ground. And we talked back and forth a little bit, and the word got back to Dr. Clemens, and she really decided this needs to be a major project. So she turned it into an opportunity for people to make donations in honor or in recognition of someone or something. I'm not a pessimist, but I was hoping for a couple of dozen trees,
Yeah.
the first year.
Yeah.
And this past spring, we planted 77 trees that were 12 to 15 feet tall.
Wow.
And about half of them were from donations in honor of or in memory of someone. We knew going in, they're not all going to live.
Right.
And the 3 weeks with no rain,
man.
our grounds crew really tried hard and tried to get water to all of them. And some just, it's no fault of ours. They say if you have 75% survival rate, that's pretty good. And right now we're over 90%.
Oh, that's
so we're
good.
doing good right now.
Yeah.
For those trees that are in honor or in memory of someone, the signs, the plaques should be in within the next week or two. So that will be the next phase. It's a continuing effort. So we already have donations that have been given. Summer is not a good time to plant trees.
No, not at all.
Fall is our official Arbor Day is very early, in the spring. In fact, it's still winter. Most of the trees that were planted were dormant when they were planted, and that's better and kind of lets them get established. So, as I said, donations have already been given, so there will be another round next winter and spring. It's kind of neat to see. I know, from 50-foot trees to 15-foot trees is a, is a big difference.
Right.
But when they started budding out this spring, it was just, it was kind of, it looked a little like
Right,
Chipola.
yeah, it just gives you a good feeling that things are growing on campus.
And I will say, the few trees we have remaining, you know, we really want to protect them
Oh,
and
I
keep
know.
them alive. It really is amazing. I have a picture in my office, a student took and gave to me. Every Arbor Day, the environmental science class would plant trees, just, you know, around campus. And they were smaller trees, but the student took a picture from the circle to the, would have been the west. And my back is to the picture, but the students are out planting trees, and of course, it's just green and brown of tree trunks,
Right.
massive, you know, pines and hickories. And I stood in the same place the picture was taken the other day, and
Right.
just, you know, looked at the picture, and it will never be like that,
Oh, no,
but it will look more like it used to when these trees, you know, in 8 or 10 years, it'll look
Yeah.
a little bit more like
yeah,
that.
that's great. Well, we so much appreciate you and Dr. Cuccio being interested in that because, you know, not many people have the green thumb or the
Wow.
knowledge to, you know, to just get in there and do that. And I think it's a wonderful gift to the campus.
We found a census that was done of all the trees on campus in the 70s. And so both sort of knowledge of what was on campus, but also from that list, we tried to replace those species. So when you look around, there's a purpose for choosing the varieties that we did. And the physical plant was so good, they did the planting. And as I said, the grounds crew continues to try to keep them up in water. And I hope they'll be here for a long time.
Yeah, that's great. Well, Dr. Hilton, we've enjoyed talking to you about things going on in the math and natural science department. Anything else you want to add?
It's just you know, it's great being here. It's funny when we sit down and talk before the storm even. It's a great place to be. It's a great place to work. Love the students. We do get awesome students here every semester, and I'll be here a few more years.
Yeah.
And just like the trees, I'll be gone.
Right,
So,
right.
but yeah, it's great being here, and thank you for having me.
Okay, all right, thanks.
Thanks.